Hello and welcome to COVID Conversations here on WNCU 90.7 FM, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm your host, Kimberley Pierce Cartwright, News and Public Affairs Director here at WNCU. And we're using the Zoom platform to talk about how COVID-19 is affecting our world. Amid the chaos and loss of control around COVID-19, our sense of self is one of the few things that we are in control of. Plus, sheltering in place gives us a unique opportunity to do some personal observations, self-reflection, some introspection if we need it, and it gives us an opportunity to reinvent ourselves. Now, can we really reinvent ourselves during COVID-19? What can block you, hinder you, or keep you from successfully reinventing and rewriting your future life? Here to help us with this is Gabriela Embon, the founder and director of the Coaching Academy. It's a school that certifies life coaches and teaches personal development courses. And I'd like to say a warm hello to you, Gabriela. How are you?
Very good, Kimberly. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm doing great. And thank you for taking time out. It took us a long time to get this scheduled because you're so busy. You have a very busy schedule. So I very much appreciate your time today.
My pleasure to be here.
All right. So tell me, what is the biggest reason for reinvention that you've heard during COVID-19?
Well, people have been wanting to reinvent themselves usually when they were hitting a midlife crisis or they were starting a new milestone in their lives, like going after retirement, starting a new phase where they're asking, what else do I want to do with myself? Or if a parent was staying home for many years and they want to go back to the workforce, they want to sometimes reinvent themselves. But what we see now is that what COVID created was a window of opportunity for people to want to reinvent themselves at any point in their lives, at any age. We don't see this happening anymore only at midlife crisis or after retirement, but now people are truly asking themselves, what do I truly want? How do I want to make money? And people are seeking for fulfillment because fulfillment, the need for fulfillment is the number one reason why people want to reinvent themselves.
Okay, every time you say midlife crisis, I kind of clutch my pearls because I think of people being frustrated probably during the middle of their life, just trying to find out what it is that they can do with the rest of their lives. So tell me about some of the triggers that drives people to want to reinvent themselves.
Absolutely. And if I may, I just want to take your question a step back because you said, sure. I hear the word midlife crisis. I can feel the frustration of people. And I would like to address that because sure. I want to give a different perspective on midlife crisis. And I want to explain to you that when we are in our late teens, early 20s, we are conditioned to prove that we can get through an education. We're smart enough to get through school. Once we do that, we graduate, and then our need is to prove to the world, to our families, that we can get a decent job and a well-paid job and be successful adults. But what happens once we make a check, when we check these boxes, then a deeper question emerges. It's an itch for what else is there for me? What do I truly want? It's an internal quest rather than having to externally prove something. It's an internal quest for fulfillment. So the way that I explain to our students at the academy, this is not a midlife crisis. This is a graduation. It's a graduation, and the only reason you are asking those questions is because you have ticked the previous boxes. So congratulations for being there. Does it make sense?
It does make sense. So then the question, what drives and triggers humans to reinvent themselves during COVID, during whenever?
Well, COVID definitely shuffled the workplace, the jobs available. Some jobs are not available anymore, and others, change drastically. So it allowed people to stop and have this opportunity to ask themselves, is this really what I want to do? I think before COVID, we were more on autopilot, and now we had this period where we were able to slow down, and by slowing down, evaluate our lives and what makes us happy and what is that we're not willing to do. I think people realize what is that they're not willing to do anymore. So that's when many people decided that they actually don't want to go back to their previous jobs, that they were making money, or they might be suffering from what I call they were successful but unfulfilled. And now that they were able to slow down and ask themselves the deeper questions, they go, this is not how I want to provide for myself and my family. I would like to combine fulfillment and success.
Mm-hmm. So can you talk about success? And what does it mean? Is it something that's tremendously beyond reach until you decide that you want to get there? Or is it something that's a little bit lower on the scale?
Right. The beauty about success is that it's very personal. It's very subjective, right? Everybody has the definition of success. But the invitation here is to look at success not from the perspective of what we were told, to make money, to own certain things, to be where we should be at a certain time in our lives, but more to look at success as alignment. Am I creating a life that is authentic with me? Am I doing what I know I'm here to do? Am I using my unique abilities in the way that I make money and my work? So for me, when I look at success, for me, success is alignment, authenticity, knowing that I'm doing the way that I am providing value feels authentic with me. So almost like work doesn't feel like work. Everybody has their own definition, of course.
So you talked about an itch just a little while ago. So at what stage in life do people begin to feel that itch and start to rethink themselves or reinvent the things that happen in their lives?
Usually we start getting that itch once we have once we have proved to the world that we can be we can be successful. So I'll give you an example of myself. Okay. When I was 35, I would say a year ago, when I was 35, I was working as an engineer. I was successful, but I dread going to work. I actually dreaded the Monday. When you're Monday morning, you wake up early because just of the thought that you have to go to work and you don't want to do this anymore. And then you ask yourself, okay, what else can I do? I remember clearly asking myself, I don't think there's anything else that I know how to do beyond what I've done all my life. So even if I wanted to do something else, I don't know what that is. So that itch is when you start becoming aware that where you are right now is more painful than the fear of changing. When you say, this is not what I want anymore. When you start asking yourself the deeper questions, when you start pondering about your life and the way you're living it, it's when you stop being on autopilot and start asking and pondering how you're living your life. This is your life. This is not a book. This is not a story. This is your life. And it's the only thing we should never compromise on is our own happiness.
So what is the single most effective reason that prevents us from taking that leap of faith? You said you were an engineer and now you're helping people reinvent themselves. So what is that thing that keeps us from leaving what we're doing that makes us feel comfortable and cutting the tether to move forward?
So I'm gonna answer that question with an example, if that's okay with you.
Oh, that's perfect.
Okay. Have you ever met people that are the go-to person? When people, exactly, right? So our coaches usually come to us and say, I'm the go-to person when there's a problem at work, with my friends. Everybody comes to me for advice, right? So people start to feel sometimes that I would love to make money helping people, but then the inner resistance kicks in, right? What if? And you ask me, what's the number one thing that keeps people from taking a leap of faith? I want to tell you, when I ask myself, what's the number one thing that keeps me away from taking a leap of faith? It was serving me. If I don't take a leap of faith, I won't fail. So I was already successful as an engineer. Why would I take a leap of faith into the unknown? So not taking a leap of faith was so serving me. It was appeasing my fear of the unknown, my fear of what would people say, my fear of failure, and for some people, even the fear of success. So we are not taking a leap of faith when not doing that is in some way, in a hidden way, serving us.
So you said that people fear success and won't take a leap of faith. So broaden that a little bit for me.
So we're very familiar with the concept of fear of failure, things not working out the way we want them. But the other side of the coin is actually fear of success. And many times, fear of success dressed up as fear of failure. But the real fear is from success, from shining a light, from being everything we can be. Many of us have grown with the belief that stay under the radar, don't make too much noise, don't shine. Don't tell your sister you got 100 in the test. Your sister will be jealous or you will hurt somebody. So, working with clients, I've seen that sometimes women carry the unconscious belief that I cannot make more money than my husband because then my husband will feel threatened. So these are all unconscious blocks that might create a fear of success.
So what is this aha moment when you go through that block like?
Well, the aha moment when you go through the block, I believe the first one is to understand where does it come from, right? Where is that idea that you cannot make, for example, more money than your spouse? Or where is that idea that if you shine your light, you might hurt others? So the first understanding, where is that story coming from? Where did you hear about that? And then asking yourself, more importantly, how does it serve you to believe that? You see, we don't carry perceptions that are not serving us in some way. There's a hidden benefit to every story. So you empower yourself when you realize, okay, I'm carrying this fear of success, fine. I know it comes from something I heard from my mom, let's say, but more importantly, how does it serve me to have it? And only when you understand the hidden benefit, you can then release it and say, I don't need this anymore, right? Maybe it serves me, the fear of success serves me to be a good mom, because now I believe that I cannot be successful as at work or as an entrepreneur and at the same time be a good mother. So what if I could do both? What if when I am at peace with myself, I am at my best at everything? So once you realize how it's serving you, that's when the empowerment to release it kicks in.
Okay. Well, you definitely have a formula for this. So what is the formula for finding out your true life's purpose? And that to me is a big one.
That's a big one, right?
Yeah.
Yes. These are fancy words and we're all after that. And we think is that thing we're searching for a lifetime. There is a simple yet powerful formula that we teach our students at the coaching academy. And we say that purpose is the combination of 3 ingredients: your passions, the meaning you give to life, and your genius zone or unique ability. So what we do is we take people through a journey of self-discovery. That's what I had to do with myself. Remember, I told you, I thought there's nothing else I know how to do. What I'm passionate about, dancing. I'm not going to become a dancer now or a dance teacher. I'm too old for that.
Yes. So
I had to go through my own searching to realize and uncover within myself what I didn't know, because nobody teaches that when we're young, right? So we take people into that soul searching discovery, and we say the train arrives here, departs from here, arrives there, and there are 3 stops in the middle: passions, meaning, and unique ability. And then when you show someone what that is for them, then you allow people, beyond finding their purpose, you allow them to fall in love with themselves. You allow them to create a life that is more intentional, a life that is more in alignment. So automatically the fulfillment level goes up.
Okay. So what's the first thing, if I wanted to reinvent myself, what's the first thing that I need to do? Do I need to define my purpose? Do I need to go out and get somebody to help me find my purpose? Do I need to write it down? Do I need a list? So what's the first thing when I decide that, okay, I'm going to take this leap of faith and I'm going to get out here and I'm going to reinvent myself?
Okay, so when you make that decision that you want to change your career or you want to reinvent yourself professionally, okay, then the first step is always, for anything, clarity. If we don't know where we're going, we cannot create a path there, right? So it's clarity. Some people already know what they want. So my best advice for the audience, for people who already know what they want, deep inside they know, and most people deep inside know, by the way, is to separate the what from the how. Because what happens many times is that we know what we want, right? But then our mind gets into, yeah, but it's not going to happen, or it's too hard, or there are too many coaches out there, or, there's no way I'm going to make money doing that. So right away, the how kicks in, which is from our brain, and it kills our what, right? So what I tell our students is, let's separate the what from the how. And when we separate the what from the how, now we have clarity. One thing is to know what I want. And the other thing is to say, I know what I want, but I don't believe it's possible, or I don't see a path to get there, so I need help with that. So first of all is making that separation that creates clarity and reduces confusion. Most people think they're confused. They're not confused. They just don't know how to create it. Okay? Yes. So that's for people that already know what they want to do. Now, if somebody else says, I don't know what I want to do in my life, I know I want something else. Of course, getting the help of a life coach is wonderful, because a life coach can help you identify those components of the purpose formula and take you there rapidly. From experience, we can take clients within 3 to 4 weeks to have those answers. However, there's another way, a little bit of helping ourselves is, how do you want to feel? Okay. Everybody knows how they want to feel. And everybody knows when you look back at your job that you're not enjoying anymore, there's always a little part of your job, even if it's just having coffee with your colleagues, there's always a little part of your job that you enjoy that doesn't feel like work. And if you're able to identify, question yourself, what is it that I like to do at work that doesn't feel like work? You're going to start getting clues of what is your unique ability. So I'll give you an example to make it more understandable. When I worked as an engineer, I worked as a process engineer, okay? But there was a part of my job that I did better than anything else. I always got complimented for that and rewarded for that, and I enjoyed doing it. It didn't feel like work, okay? It was training, teaching. So even though I was not in the right industry, even though I was not living my purpose, I was already using that unique ability, that genius zone that I have. And that gave me a hint into into what is my purpose. When I am in my purpose, I'm going to be using that unique ability. So I believe everybody can look at themselves at work, even if they hate, for the lack of a better word, their job. if they are able to distill that little thing at work that they enjoy doing, this is going to give them a hint to what their purpose is, or what they're going to be using when they're in their purpose.
We have come to the end of our time, Gabriela. And I could talk to you all day. It sounds like every word that you say is something that I could use, that members of our audience could use. So thank you very much for helping us to understand what we need to reinvent ourselves during COVID-19. It's been my good pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Kimberley. It's a pleasure being here.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And thank you, audience, for watching via YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, as well as listening on WNCU. We want you to be very sure to like us, to follow us, and subscribe to our pages to see more of our archived shows. I'm Kimberley Pierce Cartwright, your host, and we will see you next time.